Hello. I love all of the books of Deepak Chopra that I read. One of my favorite ones is The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire. And today I want to share something from this book which I like particularly. First, why I like this book, because it shows us that there is a way in which we can tap into the energy of the universe and we can achieve our desires effortlessly, and it shows us that there are miracles everywhere, and I'd like to believe there are miracles and coincidences on our life path that help us to achieve our dreams. Today I want to share about the second principle of Destiny's Path from this book, which is that through the mirror of relationships, I discover my non-local self. And this chapter helps us to understand relationships better, and that what we see in others must exist in us, and we must know it in order to recognize it in others. And that we have both positive and negative traits, although we may work on ourselves and suppress the negative traits. And therefore this makes us more compassionate, I think, and less likely to be judging hastily. And in this chapter, there is a very good story. It's a wonderful Sufi story that illustrates how the mirror of relationships affects our lives. A man entered a village and went to see the Sufi master, the wise old man of the village. The visitor said, "I'm deciding whether I should move here or not. I'm wondering what kind of neighborhood is this? Can you tell me more? What kind of people live here?" And the Sufi master said, "Tell me, what kind of people lived where you came from?" The visitor said, "Oh, they were highway robbers, cheats, and liars." The old Sufi master said, "You know, these are the same people that live here." The visitor left the village and he never came back. Half an hour later, another man entered the village. He sought the Sufi master and said, "I'm thinking of moving here. Can you tell me what kind of people live here?" Again the Sufi master said, "Tell me, what kind of people live where you come from?" And the visitor said, "Oh, they were the kindest, the gentlest people, most compassionate and loving people. I shall miss them terribly." The Sufi master said, "These are exactly the kind of people who live here too." And so this story reminds us that our traits, and the traits that we see most clearly in others, often most strongly exist in ourselves. And when we can see the mirror relationships, then we can begin to see all of ourselves. And to do this, we need to be comfortable with our ambiguity and to embrace all aspects of ourselves, At a deep level, we need to recognize that we are not flawed simply because we have negative traits. No one has only positive traits. Recognizing that we have negative traits simply means that we are complete. And in that completeness, we gain greater access to our universal, non-local self. I love this principle and want to give two examples, one from professional and one from personal aspect. To start with the personal aspect, I dislike being stressed because I can't think clearly. My breathing gets rapid and I feel tension, and it's a state I don't like to be in. I like to be relaxed. Whereas Lloyd and maybe some men prefer to be more energetic and more in a tense and more stressed state. And sometimes I get annoyed if Lloyd is stressed, whereas for him this is normal. But I get annoyed because that trait exists in me too. I just don't like the effect on me. So I try to understand this and to adjust my attitude and not to get annoyed and to judge. To give an example in the professional life, I'm not going to mention names, but one of my employers, when giving me the letter of appointment, it was a very long 3-page letter with indication what are the conditions, and when reading it, it struck me honest description of the data and honest relationships. It just stuck out, the honest. But I dismissed it. Maybe it was my intuition telling me something. And in the course of my work in this place, I found out that my employer unfortunately was very dishonest and made up some things. So this trait of making up might exist in my employer, and that's why they insist that others are honest because they want to trust them. For example, if you're always telling the truth, you wouldn't think that others are not. You are less likely to think so. Well, some thoughts about life and relationships, which hopefully will be helpful to get you thinking in the right direction.